In the annals of history, some names evoke a chill down the spine, their deeds forever etched in the collective memory of humanity. Karl Denke, the monster of Munsterberg, is one such name. His crimes, a grotesque tapestry of murder, cannibalism, and macabre preservation, shocked the world and earned him the moniker of the real-life Frankenstein. Denke's reign of terror unfolded in the quaint town of Zbice, Poland, then known as Munsterberg, Germany, in the early 20th century. From 1903 to 1924, he lured unsuspecting victims into his home, promising them food, shelter, and work. Little did they know they were stepping into a nightmare. Their fates sealed the moment they crossed his threshold. His victims, mostly itinerant workers and homeless individuals, were drawn to Denke's apparent kindness. They sought solace in his humble abode, unaware that they had become prey to a cunning predator. Denke's motives remain shrouded in mystery, a chilling enigma that continues to fascinate and horrify. Karl Denke was born in 1860 in Munsterberg, a town steeped in history and nestled in the heart of Silesia. His early life was seemingly unremarkable, blending into the tapestry of everyday life in a small town. He worked as a church organist and gravedigger, professions that would later take on a sinister significance. From 1903 onwards, whispers of missing persons began to circulate through the cobblestone streets. The disappearances followed a chilling pattern, itinerant workers, beggars, and travelers all vanishing without a trace. Fear cast a long shadow over the town as the body count grew, but the identity of the perpetrator remained elusive. Denke's neighbors knew him as a quiet, unassuming man, a pillar of the community. He was known for his piety, often seen attending church services. Behind this facade of normalcy, however, lurked a monster, his true nature concealed beneath a veneer of respectability. Denke's modus operandi was as simple as it was effective. He preyed on the vulnerable, targeting those on the fringes of society, individuals who were less likely to be missed. His victims, desperate for work or a warm meal, readily accepted his offers of help, their trust easily earned. Once inside his home, Denke would offer his victims drugged food or drink, rendering them unconscious. With his victims subdued, he would then proceed to murder them, his methods as brutal as they were efficient. Some victims were bludgeoned to death, while others met their end through strangulation. His crimes, however, went far beyond the act of killing. Denke was driven by a macabre fascination with the human body, a morbid curiosity that would lead him down a path of unimaginable depravity. He meticulously dismembered his victims, his actions betraying a chilling familiarity with human anatomy. His victims, stripped of their dignity in death, were reduced to mere objects, their bodies desecrated to satisfy Denke's twisted desires. The true extent of his depravity, however, was yet to be uncovered, hidden behind the closed doors of his unassuming abode. Denke's House of Horrors was a testament to his gruesome crimes, its walls bearing silent witness to the atrocities committed within. The stench of death permeated the air, a grim reminder of the lives tragically cut short. But it was in the kitchen where Denke's true depravity was most evident. He treated human flesh like a butcher would treat animal meat, meticulously processing his victims. He pickled flesh in brine, smoked it like jerky, and even ground it into a meat spread that he shared with unsuspecting neighbors, claiming it was pork. The townsfolk, oblivious to the true nature of Denke's gruesome delicacies, remained none the wiser. They unknowingly consumed the flesh of their fellow human beings, their palates none the wiser to the horrors that lay hidden beneath the guise of normalcy. Denke's meticulous record-keeping further amplified the horror of his crimes. He meticulously detailed each murder in a series of notebooks, recording the names, dates, and gruesome details of his handiwork. These chilling journals provided a glimpse into the mind of a monster, revealing the cold, calculated nature of his actions. Section 5. A Gruesome Pantry. Denke's reign of terror continued unabated for 2 decades, his crimes hidden in plain sight. However, fate, as it often does, had other plans. On December 20th, 1924, a man named Vincent Olivier escaped Denke's clutches, his cries for help shattering the silence that had shrouded the town for so long. Olivier, wounded but alive, stumbled into the local police station, his clothes torn, his body trembling with fear. He recounted his harrowing tale to the incredulous officers, his words painting a picture of unimaginable horror. Initially skeptical, the police were soon convinced of the veracity of Olivier's claims, his injuries and demeanor speaking volumes. A search warrant was swiftly obtained, and a contingent of police officers descended upon Denke's residence. Nothing could have prepared them for the macabre spectacle that awaited them inside. The house was a veritable butcher shop of human remains. Section 6. The Diary of a Monster. The scene that greeted the police upon entering Denke's home was horrifying. Jars filled with preserved human body parts lined the shelves. Bones, meticulously cleaned and stacked, lay scattered throughout the house. In the garden, officers unearthed a mass grave. The scale of Denke's crimes sent shockwaves through the community. The once respected church organist was unmasked as a cold-blooded killer. Perhaps the most chilling discovery was Denke's diary. In it, he documented his crimes, listing the names of his victims. The diary provided a glimpse into the mind of a monster. Section 7. Justice, though flawed. Arrested and charged with his heinous crimes, Denke's trial was a media sensation. Newspapers around the world clamored to report on the case, the gruesome details of his crimes captivating the public imagination. Denke, once a respected member of the community, became a symbol of evil, his name forever etched in the annals of criminal history. However, justice in this case would be tragically incomplete. On December 21, 1924, just one day after his arrest, Denke took his own life while in police custody, cheating the hangman's noose and denying his victims and their families the closure of a trial. Denke's suicide, while a cowardly act, did little to quell the public's thirst for answers. The circumstances surrounding his crimes, his motives, and the reasons why he was able to operate undetected for so long remained shrouded in mystery. His death, while marking the end of his reign of terror, did little to heal the wounds he inflicted. The families of his victims were left to grapple with the unimaginable, their grief compounded by the knowledge that they would never see justice served. Section 8. The Silence of the Lambs, German edition. Denke's crimes, while horrifying in their own right, took on an even more sinister aspect when viewed through the lens of history. The year was 1924, and Germany was still reeling from its defeat in World War I. The country was in a state of political and economic turmoil, its people grappling with the trauma of war and the uncertainty of the future. In this climate of fear and uncertainty, Denke's crimes struck a chord of primal terror. He became a boogeyman, a symbol of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of everyday life. His story served as a chilling reminder that even in the most civilized of societies, monsters could lurk in the shadows. The case also highlighted the vulnerabilities of marginalized communities. Denke's victims, mostly itinerant workers and homeless individuals, were easy prey, their disappearances often going unnoticed or unreported. Their stories, often overlooked in life, became a tragic footnote in the annals of one of history's most notorious serial killers. Section 9. Echoes of Horror. The case of Karl Denke, while largely forgotten outside of Germany, continues to fascinate and horrify. His crimes, a chilling blend of murder, cannibalism, and macabre preservation, have cemented his place in the pantheon of history's most notorious serial killers. In the decades since his death, Denke's story has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and even a horror film. His crimes continue to capture the public imagination, serving as a grim reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the human heart. The case of Karl Denke is a stark reminder that monsters do not always lurk in the shadows. They can walk among us, disguised as ordinary people, their true nature hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. Section 10. Never forget. It is easy to dismiss Denke as a madman, a monster who defied comprehension. However, to do so would be to ignore the uncomfortable truths his case reveals about human nature. Denke's crimes, while extreme, highlight the dark side of humanity, the capacity for evil that resides within us all. His story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder to be vigilant, to question appearances, and to never turn a blind eye to the suffering of others. For it is in our silence, in our indifference, that evil truly thrives. The victims of Karl Denke, while gone, will never be forgotten. Their stories, though tragic, serve as a reminder of the human cost of evil and the importance of fighting against injustice in all its forms. Section 11. The Enduring Mystery. Despite the passage of time, certain aspects of Denke's crimes remain shrouded in mystery. The true extent of his crimes, the number of his victims, and the full scope of his depravity may never be fully known. The answers, like the victims themselves, lie buried in the past, lost to the sands of time. The case of Karl Denke, while horrifying, serves as a reminder of the importance of memory. By remembering the victims and learning from the past, we can strive to create a world where such atrocities are never repeated. For it is in our remembrance that we honor the victims and ensure that their stories continue to serve as a warning to future generations. The story of Karl Denke, the monster of Munsterberg, is a chilling reminder that the face of evil can be deceptively ordinary. It is a story that continues to resonate today, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly peaceful of communities.